I have seen a lot of debate on whether video games can be considered an art form, but what I often wonder, what is it that makes movies, novels, music, or paintings art, but video games not? Film critic Roger Ebert says, art is not something you can win or lose, but rather something you experience. Well, the first flaw I would like to point out in that statement is martial arts. You can certainly win or lose in that. Secondly, I wonder if he understands that there's much more to video games than winning or losing. Many video games are much more than mere challenges or games, but rather epic adventures and stories, some of which really don't provide much of a challenge, but they're enjoyable just because of the experience. They tell a story in a way no movie or book can. One example of what I mean is Heavy Rain for the PS3. This is something I find a bit difficult to even call a game, but rather an interactive story. You control 4 people searching for a serial killer. You make choices, but no matter what you do, you will never see a game over screen. You will just get a different ending depending on what choices you make. So I wonder, what is it that a movie has that this doesn't? Another way I like to think of it is this. Look at this picture of Spider-Man swinging in a city. It's a piece of art, right? What if you control Spider-Man in the same city, though, with the same visual style? What is lost in this process that could take away its art form? I did some research on what some of the developers think. Shigeru Miyamoto from Nintendo says he doesn't think of himself as an artist. His creations are also very, well, game-like. He considers fun gameplay by far the most important aspect of any game, and many of his games still feature next to no storyline, such as Mario, who still doesn't really have any goals aside from rescuing Princess Peach over and over. But the level designs still take a lot of creativity to make. Goichi Suda, better known as Suda51, however, is the complete opposite in almost every way. He isn't nearly as well known as Miyamoto, but he still has a strong fan base. In an interview, he was asked about an, at the time, upcoming game for the GameCube, Killer 7. He talked about the story and concept for the game, but when asked about the gameplay, he said he has no idea what it would be like, meaning gameplay isn't one of his main focuses. The story in the game is also very bizarre, and you have to look very deep to understand what's going on. There are various theories, and none have been confirmed by Suda. In No More Heroes for the Wii, there are sections where you must travel a city between missions. There isn't much you can do here besides drive to your destination, and it's also very lifeless, as most players agree it's actually pretty boring. Though it may not have been the best decision, he says he did it for artistic reasons. The missions were intended to feel much like a classic game. The enemies are out into big pixels, your health bar is very pixelated, and at the end of a mission your ranking went up while 8-bit music played. Suda wanted to emphasize the difference between the real world and video games. The missions were like playing a game, and the city was like the boring real world. And during the section, you just wanted to have fun. You just want to have fun in the world of video games. As you can probably see, he very much sees video games as a way to express art. He sees that as even more fun than he sees that as even more important than fun gameplay, and there are people who enjoy games for that reason. Though most people agree that the city section No More Heroes were just stupid, so No More Heroes totally discarded it. But anyway, the fact that not everybody even values gameplay aspect as a number one importance is why I've seen some people say the video game is no longer what we should call it media. And as long as it has that title, there will always be people that will continue to look at them as nothing but games, and not realize that they have evolved into so much more. What should they be called? Well, I'm not very good at naming things. Perhaps interactive entertainment or interactive media. They're a bit long. I don't know what they should be called, really. And I don't think the name is going to change anytime soon anyway. But my point is, like all other forms of art, it evolves. Drawing used to be just carvings on trees, movies used to be black and white and silent, and video games used to be mere games and nothing else. And there are all ways to express creativity for the entertainment of others.